You always start with me. Okay, hi. My name is Hannah. I am playing the halfling warlock, whose patron is Mayhem, who made a mysterious escape last season. Ooh. Her alignment is chaotic, and that's all I got to say about her.
Greetings, everyone. I am Kentucky Hawkeye, KY Hawkeye, and I am going to be playing, once again, Scandalon Obadias IV. He is a male protector Asimar, and he is a paladin.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to be playing Red Fireson, the Fire Genasi Warlock, Great Old One, Contact Other Plane Addict, and unintentionally got a benefit to contacting other planes. So that's going to happen more now with my level up. So, yep.
Hi, I'm going to be playing Mildred Crabtree, who is a gnome monk of the Way of the Drunken Master, or, Disaster Klutz. I realize that sounds redundant, but believe me, both words are needed to really emphasize the degree of disaster, catastrophe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He told us we were definitely paying out. We told him we are not.
And he'd seen a green light right before it happened.
Best cat.
And I rolled a natural 20 for tuna pockets.
Roll
No,
for tuna pockets.
What I intended to roll was I wanted to roll to see if I just had loose tuna with me, which would also have made sense. But they did come in sandwich form, which is also understandable.
And also the cat said something about tripping up someone that was wearing all dark clothes and wearing a mask. I are a good note taker, I am.
I'm Is the owner still there? Because I want to try out a new cantrip I just acquired.
We still need to talk to the secretary to find out who his rivals are. So it gives you excuse to go inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, guys, I have suddenly felt within me new power from across the plains. The power of bullshit, where my former boss was very good at. So I think I can make him my friend for a very short amount of time.
Is this something where he's going to know that and be really mad later?
Yes, so we have to make an expedient retreat once I cast it, because he'll know afterwards. But if it works, we can get him to admit that he defrauded us.
Yeah, I think I'll go along with whatever you want to do, of course. But he seems like a very powerful person, and I have been. Wait, didn't we end last session with me talking to the planar being about messing with this guy?
I
think that was it.
think you did. You did.
Talk to a planar being and said some horrifying things. That I distinctly remember.
Yeah, you did. You did use contact other plane again. This time successfully, and yes, you you had a very creepy conversation. With the entity that you reached.
Wanted to sacrifice too.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So I contacted another plane. I don't think it was Shafafana, but they said they'd be willing to help me bring this guy humble this guy, so to speak.
So what's up with Cat's tail?
I feel like Poppy's about to be the voice of reason, and we should all just take a step back.
That's technically someone who's your superior, I'd say. What?
Wait, to him?
I say that.
To Corona?
No, we're just not gonna. We're gonna let's just go talk to the secretary. Yeah, that sounds like
okay.
Actually, yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna just look at him out of the corner of my eye, like.
He's not he's very much not dejected or anything. It's just very go with the flow. And he was saying it as if he was asking if you guys wanted to like go to the library and talk to the librarian, or it wasn't like he has no.
Right, he didn't tell us that there was a sacrifice that was going to be a necessary thing if we did the thing, right?
No, but you can ask him.
I make some notes on my clipboard after he says that.
Well, okay.
Just go get to the secretary.
Well, I mean, how would we do what you're suggesting? Jake's character, whose name I cannot remember, but it's probably something fiery. Red.
Red.
Of course it's red.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it's red.
Yeah, well, he said sacrifice, and I've been thinking about swearing off carbs for a while now, and if I sacrifice that, I think I love carbs, so it's a big sacrifice for me, so.
Somehow, I don't think planar beings are going to be looking at that as being the kind of sacrifice that they require.
Oh, that's a good...
They prefer something a little bit more meaty, shall we say.
What plane was this?
I don't know. It's kind of exciting for me, just finding it in my book, and... at first I was like, I kind of want to know what plane it is, but then it's exciting that I don't know and I can guess, and it's different every time. So
that's great. And I'm super proud that you found this thing and figured out how to do it. So I'm glad you're on our team.
Oh, thank you.
It, though. Let's check these things out when it's not so much a matter of our jobs being on the line.
Oh, good idea. Good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could become a vegetarian if that's what you mean, Scandalon.
Not quite.
Okay.
I pat him on the arm and mutter something about cinnamon rolls.
Ooh.
Which is ironic because we're all cinnamon rolls.
I'm not a cinnamon roll.
You are a precious
bagel.
You are a precious bean, and we love you.
I'm one of those bagels they like scoop the middle out of to put more cream cheese in. It's total chaos.
Ooh. Now I want a bagel. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to find the secretary then?
Let's go find the secretary.
Okay.
I float ominously behind the group.
As you do.
As one does.
Okay.
I'm keeping my eye out for anything that looks like evidence.
Sure.
There's got to be some paper trail or trace of something.
So you guys head back to the main house. There's a very clear main entrance, so to speak. And when you head inside, you enter what in another building would definitely be considered the lobby. Here it's less like a lobby and more like a entrance hall. Maybe is the right words. But regardless, there is a desk set up in one corner with a young woman seated behind it. She's got a couple of stacks of different files in front of her, and she's got a quill out and writing a few things. And there's when you open the door, there's like that little tinkle of the bell. And she looks up at the four of you, and she says, you must be the agents from Waterdavian Farm, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that would be us.
And I take it that Mr. Corona has promised you a list of his business rivals. Or so he said as he went back inside?
That would be correct.
Actually, what we asked him more than once was if he might have some personal grudges against him. A man that powerful doesn't even exist without some pretty personal enemies, and this felt like it might have been, to be completely impartial. Either he did it himself or someone targeted him to make him look bad. And if they'd been business rivals, I personally think that it would have been targeted at his business rather than at himself at his home.
She just kind of does a little shrug and she says, as far as Mr. Corona is concerned, all of his personal rivals are business rivals as well. And she flicks through this stack of paper on her desk, shuffles a sheet or two out of one of these folders, and just slides it over the desk to you. And she says, I think you'll find that this list is a comprehensive place to start.
Thank you, madame.
You're quite welcome.
I'm going to go over, come over to the desk, float gently over to the desk and go, thank you so much for your cooperation. I understand this is a kind of an unusual situation, but I'm sure you deal with a lot of chaos. I know what it's like to be an assistant to a very powerful man. It's a little bit draining.
It can be draining at times, but Mr. Corona is quite brilliant, and
does he sometimes ask you to pick up his dry cleaning?
Oh no, he has other servants for that.
Oh. Okay, I cast friends on her.
Okay.
Doesn't it just happen to you? Like, it just makes you more charismatic.
I don't know. It's just I cast friends.
Let's find out. Friends.
Friends is a cast.
Friends.
Advantage on.
I think it happens to the target and not to
you have advantage on charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile towards you. When the spell ends, the creature realizes you use magic. It lasts 1 minute. And it's concentration.
I see.
Okay. So you cast friends.
Mm-hmm.
She just gives you this nice smile, and and she says, she said, you are also a secretary for a very powerful man.
I used to be, and now I am upper level of the company. So, making those steps, I worked for Mr. Mayhem of Watergavian Farms for a while.
Oh, yes. He hasn't been seen recently. Is everything all right?
He's on sabbatical.
Make a deception check. But you get advantage.
Remember, +3. No, that doesn't count as a save throw. Never mind.
That is going to be a... Hold on, because I got this thing squished. That is going to be a deception check.
Yeah.
But I have something insane. So, whatever a 14 plus 9 is...
23.
23, yeah.
23.
Oh, yeah. No, you're completely nonchalant about it. Looks totally natural. She says, "Oh, well, that's very healthy for
it is.
people with that much power."
Has your boss been looking to maybe go on sabbatical as well? Maybe get a little money and go on vacation?
Oh, well, he does take vacations periodically. He says it's healthy to take 1 or 2 per year. It's been a couple months since his last one, so he'll probably be due for another month or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so between me, I mean, working for very powerful men, it's just how it is. Do you have any inclination about if, maybe your Mr. Corona did this himself? I mean, he could have, we just need to exit off the list, just so we know, and I know you know him more than anybody else. So we just need that confirmation so we can focus our attention. You know how policies work, and even if it is, it's not going to come to anything. Of course, he's too powerful.
Oh,
It's just.
I mean, I don't see why he would have. He certainly didn't say anything to me. He just said that the carriage house had been attacked by this phantom.
All right, well, thank you. Good night. And then I leave.
While they've had this discussion, and I'm standing right there, I've been looking over the desk. Did I find anything of probative value?
Did you find anything of value, you said?
Of probative value, yeah. On her desk. Just any information, papers.
Make an investigation check.
Yes. I've been dying to do this. 18.
Is your
Wait. Is that? Yeah, 18.
okay. You're sort of discreetly looking over at the desk, trying to see if there's any information there. You do see
like papers related to this business?
Yeah, you see one sheet of paper sticking out of a folder, and you can only read a couple half sentences on it, right? Because it's only partially out of its stack. But you can see something about business debts owed. And it looks like the letterhead might be a bank, but you can't quite see enough of it to tell.
Can I get a clear memory of what it looks like?
You can, but again, you can't actually see the whole thing. So it's one of those things where it's like, how there's like first, third bank, and then like third, fourth bank, and like, so you get the bank part, but you're not you can't see the
image of a logo. Did I get anything similar like that?
No, the logo's covered up, unfortunately.
Could I recognize any wording from it that seemed unusual?
No, I mean, not really. It's a notice about business debt, but that's not uncommon. A lot of businesses operate with some kind of debt. And also, just so you know, the list that she has handed you of his business rivals is a very neat, very tidy, written in incredibly small and yet still legible handwriting, front and back list of all of his business rivals.
That tracks.
At a quick scan, looking at the numbers, there's 100 people on here, ranked.
I wish I could add my name to it.
Give us time.
All right. Does this list look like it was just made, or is this a list that he maybe already had?
From the level of detail and the ranking and everything, this is definitely a list that they already had prepared, and they just made you a copy.
That's a list.
That's what I thought.
A list of ruffles at all times. What a dipshit. God. DM, just out of curiosity, I don't think there was much left on that 1 minute, but how much was left on that 1 minute?
Not, like, you've got like 5 seconds. You could maybe ask one thing if you want.
Phew! I want to be out of the room when it stops.
Okay.
Smart choice.
I follow Poppy.
Thank you.
Who is this person?
The secretary? It's a she.
Okay. Is her trash can over in the corner so she has to make a basket, or is it like right by her?
It's by her desk.
I'm going to glance around the room looking for surveillance equipment of the type that we have at Waterdhavian Farm while saying, you know what? I realize that this isn't really germane to the discussion, but this is a really pleasant room. The decor is really just very soothing. It must be nice to deal with all the stress that you have in such a soothing room.
So the equipment you had at Waterdavian Farm for surveillance is magical.
Yeah.
Are you
in the sky
casting
type.
detect magic or something similar?
No, but I understood from last season that there were visible things on the ceiling, like eye in the sky cameras, and I'm wondering if I just can see any of that.
You don't see anything that looks like an arcane eye or anything like that. No.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean there's not something there. It just means there's nothing you can see. And behind you, as you you say all this about what a lovely room it is, the secretary shakes her head a little bit as the friend's spell wears off, and yes, it is. Is there anything else?
No, just thank you for your time.
And then if you would please, I have a lot of work to be doing.
Of course.
Of course, madam.
We beat a hasty retreat.
Yep, you can go outside, where I assume Poppy is with Fred.
What,
I'm
darling?
just going to I knew from the heavens that I could
Walk
just
outside. What did
all of
you
a sudden,
do?
it was just amazing. So I just decided to try it. I guess it worked.
That's amazing.
I know, right? It's so nice when you get your magical powers from someone else instead of like within yourself, because you just really don't have to try. It just comes to you.
Or like studying or something. Like
Studying.
Yeah.
I was a straight D student.
yeah, me too.
Screw that. Make a pact, as I always say. Even though I didn't mean to.
I just hope the road is not closed to us now.
Well, the road seemed open, and I don't know why they would be closed today. I mean, it's a nice day out. Oh, unless I cast grease again, and I forgot about it. I sometimes do that. I'll black out, and then there'll just be grease everywhere. I just need something. It started recently. I think it's the
Sweetheart, could you not? Okay, come on up. Sorry.
Okay.
Did your cat just talk back to you?
Yes. I'm not downstairs because I'm up here. Mommy's on camera right now. I know it's not nearly as important. Can
I appreciate the conversation happening.
So sorry about that.
You're okay.
No problem.
This wouldn't be a variant roles stream if at least one pet didn't make an appearance.
You're not wrong.
All right, so looking at the list, who's the first name that shows up on there? Out of professional curiosity.
Out of professional curiosity, the first name that appears on there is... hang on, let me go find my notes.
Can we not show our butt to the camera?
The first name on the list is Idril Tusktree. And her company is listed as being another distribution company very, very similar to Quinn's.
Have we heard of her before?
Yeah, you have, I would say, where, if we're gonna keep making Silicon Valley comparisons, where Quinn is sort of Elon Musk-y, she's sort of, is it Sheryl Sandberg?
Oof. Yeah.
Whoosh.
Facebook. All right. Well, for those of you watching along at home who do know who Sheryl Sandberg is, there I have made a comparison for you. She was the one who started the Lean In thing, I believe, as well.
Oh.
There we go. That's some recognition right there.
Yeah.
In fact, we can even say that Idril Tusk Tree has a similar movement here in Waterdeep.
Lengthen
What
your
is it called?
stride. Or
Yeah,
something
like
that.
lengthen your stride. That's definitely it. Yep.
Oh, isn't that the guy lengthen your stride posters or pamphlets they hand out?
Oh, they made us do like a female empowerment seminar on that. Oh, it was the worst. Oh.
Yeah, isn't that movement one of those where if you don't have everything you want in life, it's your own fault? And not because of inherently disordered power structures?
Are you asking
Well,
for real life or?
Nope, Mildred wants to know.
Well,
yeah, I think that was covered on my orientation at Waterdavian Farm.
Well, personally, I think that he did it. I think this is a farce.
I think we already know. In my contact other plane, we already know that he was at least in on it in some way. Like,
yeah, we really just have to get him to admit it at this point.
Because we were talking to him like we already knew, and if I recall.
Yeah, and he threw off the walls. I mean,
did the cat give us earlier a description of the mask that it saw?
It did not. It just said a black mask.
A mask.
And
black mask.
A black mask and a person all wearing black.
Let me go back inside.
That description might be worth putting into the ether to see if we know anyone that operates like that.
You want me to contact other plane?
No.
Oh, you said put it in the ether. I'm sorry, I got confused. I didn't know if that's.
Go back and ask the secretary.
Like the metaphorical ether, as in I call like my.
That's
uncle.
my fault. That's my fault. I was just clarifying. I'm sorry.
No, please do not contact other planes again. We're not gonna do that again, okay? If we're gonna contact it, I will do that. I think you're good for now, bud.
No, I have. I don't get the headache as much anymore. I'm protected against that. So
yes, but let's be fair, Red, because if we ever need to take a carriage ride together, it's going to be full before we even get in because of all your invisible friends. And I go back inside to the secretary.
You couldn't see Shivavana?
No, but you told us about him. And I go back inside to ask the secretary, have you ever seen Mr. Corona wearing or carrying a mask? Or anybody else in the household?
No. I mean, well, except at Trolltide, but everyone wears masks.
Well, sure, at Trolltide. Do any of the people at the house have a black mask that they've worn at Trolltide?
No, not like that. I mean, most time at Trolltide, everyone wears these very fancy, elaborate masks. I'm sure you've seen them.
Oh, I have 3.
Well, there you go. I mean,
I love Trolltide.
It's not a common practice of Mr. Corona's to walk around wearing a mask.
Of course not, but I wondered if I have it on excellent authority that sometime around the time of the accident or the sabotage that someone was seen wearing one nearby. And I thought, well, if somebody in the house had one, or, if he had one and someone had taken it and used it, it would be a nice lead to follow up. But if there isn't anything of that kind, then it's fine. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.
Okay.
I mean, we're definitely going to be making him mad later, but Mildred is like, let's not start off on that front.
Yeah, she just watches you go.
Mm-hmm. I come outside and shut the door super quietly and then murmur softly to Poppy, she's mad.
Yeah, that's why I left. So, yeah, I think we just need to figure out a way. How do we get him to admit it?
Well, I tried zone. I think I try Zone of Truth once before earlier, and he was able to resist it.
He did resist it.
Was that with him or with
He definitely resisted it.
Okay.
He resisted it like a boss. Like he smacked it down out of the sky like a drunk gnat.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
I also have an ability to I don't know how to put this, but just send a dream to someone and Jake and Red doesn't know how to put this.
Wait, can you Jacob Marley him?
Yes, I can.
Yes! We're Jacob Marleying him, yes!
I can.
This is the most beautiful thing I've heard.
Thank you for giving me the words to describe it, because it's the dream spell, but yeah.
I truly do not think I have ever seen anyone use this in all my years of playing D&D.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, I picked it just for the role play, like with a secondary hope that it would actually work.
We need to
Looking at the spell right now, so for anyone else who's not familiar with Dream, because I'm not, it says choose a creature known to you as the target. They must be on the same plane of existence. You enter a trance state to act as the messenger. While in the trance, you are aware of your surroundings but can't take actions or move. If the target is asleep, the messenger appears in the target's dreams and can converse with the target as long as it remains asleep through the duration of the spell. The messenger can also shape the environment of the dream, creating landscapes, objects, and other images. Messenger can emerge from the trance at any time, ending the effect of the spell early. The target recalls the dream perfectly upon awakening. If the target is awake when you cast the spell, the messenger knows it and can either end the trance in the spell or wait for the target to fall asleep, at which point the messenger appears in the target's dreams. You can also choose to just basically straight up make it a nightmare and appear monstrous and terrifying to the target. If you do, the messenger can deliver a message of no more than 10 words, and then the target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it spawns a nightmare and prevents the target from gaining any benefit from the rest, and they take psychic damage. Yeah. But
is awesome.
I see no reason why you could not Jacob Marley this guy.
We're gonna Christmas Carol, except it's Halloween themed. Oh yeah.
The irony of doing this the day before Halloween.
Oh, the ghost of troll tides, past, present, and future. Confess or lose it all. It's gonna happen.
But guys, if I'm gonna do this, I need help. Like, thinking of. I think it should be a nightmare because this guy.
Naturally, yeah.
Right, is a nightmare, and.
Hello.
It's I need help like forming it. You need to tell me the color palette.
Like a disguise, so he doesn't recognize you because you are kind of,
Yeah, I was thinking I could be a monster, or like a demon.
You could be one of his rivals, delivering him a message that if he continues on his path, that he's gonna lose it all and gain it all.
Yeah,
I love it.
Don't forget, you have a limit of only 10 words.
That's only if you go the nightmare route. If he chooses to do this as a dream, he can stay in there up to 8 hours.
And it's like 8 hours. Like if I start it and he's awake, I continue the trance until he falls asleep. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So you could cast it now. It might be best to wait until a little bit closer to nighttime or when it's reasonable to think that he's asleep. But so as long as you don't go the full-on nightmare route, you can stay in there for the full 8 hours of the spell, as long as you want. So if you want to run a full Jacob Marley bit, that is actually doable under the terms of the spell.
But can I, if I'm doing the Jacob Marley route, I can turn myself into something else?
You can't make yourself look demonic because that would trigger like the nightmare component of the spell, right? But it says as long as you're just using regular dream, it says you can shape the environment, creating landscapes, objects, and other images. So I would say it's reasonable that if you wanted to just disguise your features, but not in a terrifying way, I think that's fine and within the parameters of the spell.
Like a clown or something, which can be considered terrifying.
Say, clowns are pretty scary.
But they're not intended to be. That's a perversion of their original.
That is true. I would let you do a clown, provided you are not.
No red balloons.
Yeah, provided you are not explicitly veering into creepy clown.
But I think I don't know.
I think we'd be more effective. This is an in-character discussion, right?
Yeah.
We need to shame him.
I think we'd be more effective if we went to him looking like himself.
Then I'd have to do the nightmare, right?
No.
That wouldn't necessarily, unless he's scared of himself, his own appearance.
Or like someone
Can we
nebulous, like
scare
himself
him
in a black mask.
in the dream?
So you can cause him to be scared, but you can't create a nightmare. So if you want to try to impose this sense of morality on him, that's fine. If that scares him, that I would say does not trigger the nightmare effect. If you just show him something like that is that causes him to repent, basically.
I don't think he has any sort of empathy, so
Well,
I don't think
it's Scrooge.
Well, he repented completely out of fear.
Yes, and what I'm trying to say here is there's a difference between the fear of being shown the loneliness of your future versus the fear of creating a demonic hellscape and having him be chased around by demons and that being like it, right?
Okay.
I'm into it. I'm deeply
What if instead of appearing like someone else, you show him himself and offer him a vision of the future and then craft something that looks like, if you do this, this is the path that you'll be on. These are the consequences. Here's what will happen. And here's what will happen after that. And it'll be a disaster.
So
Whereas
offer
if you just
him.
admit it. Offer him a vision of the future.
So give him an option.
No, show him
Okay.
a vision of the future.
Okay.
And then a different future where he doesn't do this, where he just admits that, he tried it and it didn't work. And then everything is fine because we'll sign an NDA.
I don't think we should get that specific because it's going to tip him off. I think we should just do a general, you suck, reform your ways.
I think
Come back tomorrow.
Telling someone that they suck and reform their ways might work with some, but he won't be that person.
Well,
He didn't get this
I'm
wealthy
saying,
by...
No. I'm saying we still do all that, except we don't tell him specifically come to us and admit, because that's going to kind of tip him off that something may be dinky. I'm saying we do all of that. He does the repent and change your ways, and we do add in the whole him going into this thing like as a vision of what you did wrong. But we don't.
He loses everything that he's accomplished.
I have an idea. So we can start the dream. I can start the dream with our encounter investigating the crash and give him two versions of it.
1 second. Please tell me we're discussing this not right within hearing of his front door. Where are we?
I would hope. I don't.
Like way off, like near the gates or something?
I would
We're
think
out
so.
walking in the street at this point,
Okay.
I would say.
You can
Heading for tacos.
Yeah, so two versions of it. Both of them start with us insurance investigators investigating, and in one he does exactly what he did today, and in the other he comes back around to tell the police that he was being, what's it called?
Pressured, forced, coerced.
Manipulated.
Yeah, but what's the legal term? Extorted.
Extortion, yeah.
Extorted,
Okay.
and therefore that would give our company, because it would be a police report.
I don't think we should go that specific that we're involved, is what I'm saying. Because that'll make him know that there's something hinky going on, especially if we get in the super specifics. I mean, us involved because it should be fresh on his mind, but not like so intent on us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's like suspicious. We already know, so we tried to use magic.
Yeah, so everything would be, it would just be our investigation. That would just be the very beginning, and then it would be showing a future when his business was successful, and that would be when he talks to the police about being extorted. And then the first one would be him going through what he did today, not telling us, and getting his insurance money, but then his business falls apart, losing everything. No one wants to talk to him. He goes to jail. His hair falls out.
Oh, and the people who extorted him keep coming back with the knowledge that he did so and the proof, and they'll just drain him dry.
Yeah, they keep, so there's no end to their extortion.
I like it. You're smart, Red.
He's forced to buy his suits off the rack.
Yeah, something, it'll just be that. And then the one that will hopefully change his mind will be him coming to his senses and going to the guard, and then his business, him no longer being extorted, and his business continuing to be successful. What do you, so yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think we should be so specific, but if everyone else is going to go for it.
Well, we got to have us as being the trigger, the dealing with us as being the trigger point.
No, we don't.
Or at least dealing with the claim.
Dealing with the claim should be a trigger point. But
Right.
maybe we show him.
But that's why I'm saying him going to the guard instead of going to us to admit that he whatever, because regardless, we get our proof of denial through the guard. Do you understand? So it's not, he's never going to deal with us again. It's just going to be him going, if it goes to plan, him going to the guard and then pulling the claim because he realizes that, well, there's no, it's public knowledge now that he's being extorted and he's not covered for extortion. Is he covered for extortion? No.
Not with this policy.
Doesn't have the extortion add-on. So, yeah. Danielle.
That's probably a separate. That's probably a separate rider that he probably felt he didn't need to get.
So worth noting that if he did have a policy for extortion, it would probably be part of his business insurance, which you do not currently have a copy of. You have a copy of his vehicular policies.
So we should research that before I trance.
Might be worth doing.
Well,
do we cover his business in another policy?
That's what we need to research.
We'll have to find that out. We don't know.
That information is not in his dossier, like see his business policy like on the last page.
It's reasonable to assume that he has a business insurance policy, and it's probably with Waterdhavian Farm. Tends to be that you end up with everything all in one carrier if you can. There's usually benefits to that. But the actual policy is probably separate. And generally speaking, when you receive your dossiers for your the customers that you are working with, you only receive that particular policy. So for instance, for your last one, I believe that was property insurance. So you would have only seen her property insurance. You wouldn't have seen her broader policy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we need to research whether there's an extortion clause in his business insurance policy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you might want to look and just be sure that you know what's there.
So one of us should do that. One of us, in our first extortion case, just a few days ago, was there a police report filed on this person?
We didn't.
We didn't file it.
The company didn't file?
Yeah,
Not
I
that
thought
you're aware of.
Okay. Then one of us should go and talk to her and ask her if she will make a report that an extortion attempt was made, because we need a chain of these, not only for us, but for the police, for the guard.
Why does the police need to know?
It helps us if more people have evidence.
The police aren't helpful. What are you talking about?
I know, but they keep records.
And if she reports
I'll just make a
this,
special folder for this in the records room.
if she reports this to the guards, that's the name of the police force, right? Crown
The city guard, yeah, or the
City Guard.
Sorry,
City
the city
Guard.
watch. Excuse me.
Watch.
There's the city
Watch.
guard and the
Watch.
city watch. They actually do two different things.
So the watch, if she goes to the watch and says, I helped burn down my own place and I had a change of heart or something, I was extorted, but I had a change of heart, I was going to go along with it, wouldn't that make her possibly, wouldn't they arrest her possibly?
Yeah, they would. She's not going to do it.
Yeah, we would be reporting to the watch, not the guards, because hang on, I've got this. The guard guards the walls and the watch watches all.
Correct.
Nice.
I'll go ahead and go to.
Yourself in a crime.
Mhm.
I sincerely doubt that.
I'll go ahead and go to the office to look up what other policies he has. I need to make another stop along the way anyway.
I'll go with him. I need to get back anyway. I gotta put all these notes away, doing everyone's charts and stuff, and I'm still grading all of you, so I need to get headed back.
And I'll go because I want to set up a file specifically about this situation so that we can put everything that's connected to it involved. Because I don't think that it would just take one mega businessman and one small businesswoman.
Mhm.
I think that we're going to see more of this if we haven't already.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I'll make that file. And then, Red, I think your only task is going to be resting because you're going to have to be sending dreams tonight, so you'll be awake, right?
Yeah, so
Should we all be together for that? Like, just in case anything weird happens and you need help?
Yeah, I don't think I can sense my surroundings, but I can't do anything.
That's correct. You're aware of your
Over.
Right. So I'll start that file and get the information that we can on it into that file, and then I'll go and buy snacks. Whose house do we want to meet at?
Let's
Can
do
I-
it at 9.
Am I
Okay.
taking a nap at work?
No, you'll go home, and then you'll come to Poppy's later.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's more comfortable to sleep at your desk.
It is really comfy sleeping under the desks. It's all dark in there. It's nice.
It's private.
It is. You can cry real hard and no one can hear you.
True. Okay.
All right. So to recap, Red is gonna take a nap at the office? In preparation for tonight.
I think he'll go home.
Go home? Okay. Do you know where Poppy's house is?
I would make sure. Mildred, where's Poppy's house?
I give him the address and then directions that really only a gnome could follow. Or if you want, I can come to yours and I'll take you there.
Yeah, that may be better.
So I would say, Mildred, you probably walk back with Red to his house, just so you can get a sense of where he is. You can come get him later.
So he starts getting more nervous as he's walking back to his house and starts you hear like whistling really loud, and yeah, he just whistles when he gets nervous. And it's a loud whistle, and it's kind of, you're not sure if it's coming from his mouth, but he is making the noise, so
Definitely Shafafma.
that's fantastic.
Mildred's not going to bat a lash at anything weird that happens around Red because it's definitely Shafafana.
Okay, awesome.
Like a dog, you can blame your flatulence on him too.
How tall is Mildred?
2'10". Short even for a gnome.
So it's okay. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I probably can't see up to your face unless you're quite thin.
He's pretty lanky, I think.
I'll still have to stand back a bit.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. So the two of you do
I'll
that.
walk you to yours so that I know where it is. And then go back to the office, make the file, buy snacks, and by then I'm sure that we'll all convene at yours. Or we'll take a dinner break and then convene.
Scandaline, you mentioned that there was something else you wanted to do on your way back.
Yes, I need to find a gem stealer.
Ah, yes. Yeah, you can take a quick swing over to the trade ward and find a jeweler. Absolutely.
Specifically, I need a diamond worth 300 gold pieces.
This is Waterdeep, so you're not going to have too much trouble finding that. In fact, one of the first shops you stop at has an assortment of diamonds. I'm sure there's probably like a I don't want to say like Clerics R Us, but there's probably like a chain of stores that just sells cleric diamonds.
It's like the right way Christian bookstore.
Yeah, and that's that's what they do. Like they sell spell components very specifically for divine casters, and that includes an array of diamonds of varying.
Yeah, the K's diamonds for clerics and paladins.
So yeah, you have
every cleric
no trouble.
begins with C, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I will seek out a appropriate diamond that is $300 gold in value to add to my inventory.
Perfect.
And then from there, I'll head straight to the office to try to see what other policies our client, Mr. Corona, has with our company.
Right.
Send you a PM, Scandalon. Oh, actually, I sent it to the group. Mention to us that you need to do that, and we'll probably fund you a few. Like, Mildred will slip you some money and be like, no, get me 2, because I've got no armor and nothing but me.
Prudent.
Yeah. All right, then I tell everyone where I'm headed before we head out.
So.
Oh, get me 2. Here, I'll give them 600. I'll keep them on me, and then if I need them, then they'll be right on me.
Okay, I will do that.
Tracking money.
A lot of gold. Red's eyes are wide open.
Okay, so we leave Red taking a nap while the rest of you head back to Waterdavian Farm.
While he's taking a nap, he's like covering his stomach with a pillow because the whistling just keeps happening when he's trying to fall asleep.
Those nerves.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mildred, when you arrive back at your desk, there is an envelope, like a manila envelope, on it.
Someone's got a secret admirer.
Probably not. No. But I'll open it up. Well, no. Is there a label? I'm going to Sherlock Holmes this. Is there a label?
There is a label and a return address.
Is the paper standard, or is it from special order that you can only get at one shop in London?
No. It's just regular parchment. But
Staples.
it is addressed to you specifically at Waterdhavian Farm. And the return label has Regressive's logo on it.
Cool.
This is very exciting. Is Poppy right near me? She's right behind me, isn't she?
I went back to my office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, as soon as you decided I had a secret admirer, that was enough?
Oh no, I had gone up to my office initially. I'm still doing I'm still doing all of these evaluations. I have been neglecting my actual job, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Yeah, so I'll open it up and check the contents. I do not inhale just in case it's a anthrax. Okay.
You open it up, and it is there's a couple of papers in here. The top one is a letter, which is signed by the lawyer that you spoke to over at Regressive. Please don't ask me to remember his name.
I would never.
I cannot remember NPC names to save my life, even though they're my characters. Anyway, it is a letter from him, and the letter says, "Dear Miss Mildred."
Name was Xanar.
Thank you. It says, "Dear Miss Mildred, attached is what I could get for you of the information you sought. Please note that the information contained within these pages has been enchanted, so that it cannot be shared outside of our two respective companies. We would request that if you find anything untoward that may affect Regressive, that you notify us at your earliest convenience." And it's got his signature.
And I don't have detect magic, do I? No, I don't. So I will just trust that it actually is enchanted. Okay. And the next page?
The next page is your map. And it has been marked with additional instances of fraud. These have been added by Regressive.
In a different color ink?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So that's the first page. The next couple of pages after that are additional information regarding very high level kind of summary information, but additional information nonetheless regarding these cases. So just as sort of an example of the type of thing you can see is, shopkeeper framed, or shopkeeper tried to make a claim against business insurance for a supposed robbery. According to our adjusters, the robbery never took place, and the whole thing was a setup. Claim was denied. And in a lot of these cases, you see, in many of them, the Regressive just didn't bother to press charges, whether because there really wasn't enough motivation for them to do so, but you do see one or two, usually the wealthier customers who tried to do this, where they did in fact press charges for attempted fraud.
Mm-hmm.
The results of those court cases are not included, so you can really just see that, on, maybe 5 or 6 of these where they actually brought a court case, and the rest they just didn't bother.
How many of these are there? How many of these cases, and how many were brought to the courts?
So, like I said, there's about 5 or 6 that were brought to the court. Grand total, it looks like they've given you a year's worth of data, right? So you don't have like multiple years, you just have this year, sort of the last 12 months. And within the last 12 months, about 50, give or take.
Whoa.
And there's a note that generally their rate of fraud is about 1 to 2 cases per 100, and they consider that to sort of be normal parameters, and that's been steady for them.
And this is 50 out of 100-ish, or 50 out of a few thousand? Like,
it would be 50 out of a few thousand if you did the math. Yeah.
Okay.
50 out of 5,000, I think.
Just calling it whatever the yearly total was, plus another 50 cases that you wouldn't expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's for every 100 cases that they have, 1 or 2 of them tend to be a fraud. So
they mentioned that this was all they found, this was all they had, this was all they searched for.
It's a year's worth of data that they've given you.
And that introductory letter didn't say, we'll look at last decade just to see what happens, or?
Nope.
Okay, no.
He just said this is the data that we were able to provide. We request that you let us know if there's anything that they need to be aware of.
Okay. Now, I can't share this outside of the company, right?
Correct.
Can I make copies of it? One for a personal file and one for the company files?
Nothing that says you can't make copies of it. Just that you can't share it outside the company.
Okay. I'll spend some time doing that before I go and get snacks and then pick up Red.
Okay.
Sweet.
Scandalon.
Mm-hmm.
You go down to the records room.
Yep.
With our favorite chaos gnome. And you come in and you see, the desk, all of the rows of the records, and the little bell.
Okay. I ring the bell. Ding, 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 ding.
You hear, just a minute! And, the sound of something falling over. You hear pages rustling. There's a noise. And then this sort of disheveled-looking gnome comes. She doesn't come walking out of the stack. You see her emerge on top of one of the stacks and actually climbs along the top of the stack and then hops down on the far side near the desk. And she looks up at you and she says, "How can I help you?"
Yes, I am part of a team working on a vehicle incident claim and all that, and we're trying to do some research on the person who holds the policy. We're curious to find out what other policies that a Mr. Quinn Corona might be holding with us here at Waterdavian Farm, whether personal or business
Quinn Corona.
oriented, for either for himself or for any of his business interests.
Okay, and you don't know what other policies he has. You want to find out.
We want to know which, other than this vehicle policy that he has that we're working on, does he have any other policies here with us?
All right, I should be able to get that for you. And okay. She goes to a completely different stack, crawls back up it, but to the third shelf, not to the top, and starts walking along, like climbing over boxes, as she disappears from sight. You hear her rustling around. You hear the thud of something falling over back there. There's a little bit more fluttering sounds, as it sounds like papers falling, and then she returns a minute later, walking on the floor now, with a thick folder. And you can see as she puts it down on the table, it says Quinn Corona on it.
All right.
And she says, "Here you go. This should be every policy he has with Water Avian Farm. Can't speak to anything that he might have with a different insurance company."
Obviously. Now, does this need to stay here, or can I take it to my desk and then bring it to you when I'm completed?
We do generally require anything borrowed from the records room to be used in our reading room. And she points over at the teeny little table and chair that is available for visitors. That way, when you're done, I can make sure it gets put back.
Totally understand. Thank you, madame. And I take the folder and I go over to the reading area.
Sure.
And try to find a chair that might be big enough to hold my frame. Or the closest thing to it.
There are a couple of chairs here. They're all very mismatched. None of the furniture looks like it was bought as a set or remotely belongs together.
Right.
So you are able to find a chair.
All bits and pieces from garage sale type sale type of pickouts. Okay, I start going through the files.
So Quinn Corona has a variety of policies with Water Avian Farm. His vehicular policy is one. He has a home insurance policy for his manor. You can see he has a life insurance policy, actually, through Water Avian Farm. He has what's called an umbrella policy. I don't know if y'all are familiar with these. These are liability policies that cover
umbrella liability.
That cover, if someone were to be on his grounds and they tripped and fell, that would cover if they tried to sue him.
Right.
And then he's
got an umbrella, or if they didn't have an umbrella, so it didn't cover the rain and they slipped. Is that
that would be covered as part of it. And then he has his business policy. And the business policy is pretty comprehensive. So it covers the usual things you would expect to see, losses and damages for physical property, lost sales in the event of a disaster or something like that, or some other outside circumstance that prevents him from making money for whatever reason. Liability coverage separately for the business in the event that something is. It's really comprehensive. I mean, he has his business and his personal coverage buttoned up pretty nice. I would like you to make me an investigation check, specifically to see if you see anything about extortion.
A bold, strong 8.
Okay. You do not see anything about extortion.
Okay.
In the policy. It's not called out. You don't find it. You check a couple footnotes. You don't see it there. You skim through the legalese. You don't see the word.
Could be a problem.
Anything else of note in the folder?
Not at a cursory level. If there's anything specific you want to look for, you are welcome to do so. I will happily provide you an answer.
All right. I want to see. When was the vehicular policy last updated?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. I'm not going to make you roll for that. That's pretty easy to find. The vehicular policy was last updated a year ago. And you can see that there's an addendum where he added another carriage.
Mm-hmm. The one that we're investigating or a different one?
The one you're investigating, actually.
Okay.
So it's fairly new.
Okay, so nothing else of note or anything along that line. Then okay. Then I finish investigating it, and I take the folder back over to the counter.
Okay. The gnome appears and takes it back and says, "Find what you were looking for."
Oh, pretty much, yes.
Oh, good. Let me know if you need anything else. And she
Will do, madame. You have a pleasant rest of the day.
She waves and then scurries off into the stacks with that folder, presumably to put it away. But she doesn't reemerge.
I head out, probably hearing more papers falling to the ground as I head out.
Yep. You head out, and as you head out, you actually hear something that doesn't sound like papers falling. It sounds like metal clanging on metal. And you really have no idea what that could possibly be.
Mm-hmm. I hold back just in case I hear any sounds of pain or cries for help.
You do not.
Then after making sure that everything's fine, I head back down to the desk, to the work desk.
Yeah, cool. And you would see Mildred there, presumably reading this file that
Making copies.
Yeah, making copies of this file that she just got.
Well, according to our records, he has vehicle, personal home, life. He's got the standard umbrella liability.
Mildred does this thing where he's talking, and then like halfway through his second or third sentence, she goes, "Huh?" and her head turns, and then her eyes turn. What?
On his policies, he's got pretty much the standard stuff: vehicle, home, life, personal liability, and a pretty comprehensive business one. But there's nothing mentioning extortion in his comprehensive business policy. Losses, damages, physical damages, disaster recovery, business liability, but nothing about protection against things such as extortion. Now, would I recognize that as being unusual to not have that kind of protection?
No, it's not necessarily unusual. It's not really a standard coverage for a business policy. It might be an area where the company might extend a special coverage. It could be negotiated into a contract, but not a standard.
Added as a rider, but not as part of the main policy.
No, I mean it would be added as part of the main policy, but it would be like a custom clause, right? It's not something that you would see as a generic coverage offering to everyone. Like the woman with the yarn shop, like they would not have offered her that, right?
No, exactly. Yeah. So what do you have there?
Do you mention the part about the vehicular policy update?
It was his vehicle policy was updated about a year ago, but the same when he added on the carriage that we are doing, that he has put the claim in on.
Really?
Yes.
Now that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Did we notice the other carriage in the same carriage house?
Yes, there would have been another one there.
And was it as nice as the new one, the pimped out one?
It was nice, but not as nice as the pimped out one.
Okay. Now that's very interesting.
It would be the equivalent of like the other one being like an Audi, and the one that got destroyed being like a Lamborghini.
On Pimp My Ride.
Yeah.
Being the caddy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still nice, but not quite as flashy.
Yeah.
Now, thinking back to Sarn's policy, the Sarn's Yarns policy, that her behavior during that investigation, did she seem kind of heartbroken? Because I kind of remember feeling like, she had to be. Like, not just like this is a material loss, but, she lost something she loved, her business that she loved.
You asking me?
Yeah.
You don't remember her being particularly heartbroken. If you recall, one of the things that you noticed was it seemed like there was less remnant of the product in the building than there probably should have been, which may be an indication that it wasn't actually all there when the building burned down.
Yeah. But the building itself being destroyed would have destroyed her business.
Right.
So that's what I'm asking about the loss of, not necessarily the inventory.
Yeah, I mean, she seemed a little bit, but she did tell you that she got some kind of payment in exchange for doing this. And she didn't specify how much that was or even who she got it from.
Scandalon. I'm an idiot.
Why do you
I have
say
to
that?
go talk to the secretary again tomorrow. Well, what time is it right now?
It's like 3.
I'm going to go now.
Do you want me to go with you?
If you like, that'd be great.
Sure.
We'll let Red sleep, and I know Poppy has a lot of paperwork to catch up on. And because I like involving...
a screech. Like, you shouldn't hear it from from 2 floors above you, but you do.
Sounds like she is busy.
Because I don't like necessarily taking a bunch of time where not everybody can play, would you like to shorthand?
Sure.
Danielle?
We can.
Okay, so the main goal is to find out from the secretary if there have been any payments made to Mr. Corona that seemed unusual or out of the ordinary by their source or by their amount.
Roll me a persuasion check, because that is sensitive information.
Sure is.
I will assist you in that endeavor.
Persuasion is +3. 13.
13.
But he is assisting, right?
Yes.
Yes.
19, 20, 21, 22.
All right, there we go. The two of you...
I love my new dice.
2 of you go to town on this, really trying to wheedle her into giving information. And finally, just out of sheer frustration, she tells you that she only has access to Mr. Corona's business accounts. And she has not seen any payments.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I didn't mean to press you. Can she direct me to his personal accountant? And then if there's any problem, it won't be on her head. It'll be on the personal accountant's head. I hope they're not married.
Or the same person. No, she doesn't do it. Never mind.
You roll me a separate persuasion check for that.
With assistance?
Yeah,
yes.
You can get assistance from...
That one's 18. That one's cocked. That one's a 2. That didn't help. 18 total.
She hands you a card for an accounting firm. It's called Saracen Accounting, and I will spell that for you. Well, I'll put it in the chat in a minute. And
just like the real word.
It's not spelled quite the same as the real word. The extra vowel change. But she hands you this card that says Saracen Accounting or Accountants, and she says to ask for Raza.
I thank her very graciously and promise that no one will ever hear it from me. And we skedaddle.
Okay. And I think that's the perfect place for us to take our break, because it is 9 o'clock. And when we come back, we will see how this Jacob Marleying of Mr. Corona goes. and how receptive he is to changing his worldview about everything, a la Scrooge.
Oh no. Doesn't sound hopeful.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm totally open to this succeeding, depending on how things go. So,
Well, Warlocks, we got charisma. It's fine. Warlock team up.
We will be back in about 10 minutes. So
we have an invasion.
Oh my gosh! Really? Who's raiding us? Scrat, and all of these lovely people.
Thank you.
Hello, incoming raiders. Guess what? We are about to go to break.
Could I have a very short scene then if we're getting a raid right now?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Okay, so up in my office. Papers everywhere. I'm standing here looking at it. And I want to pull out the sheet that I found at the end of season 1 with all of those names on it and some particular stars next to my name.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yes. I want to pull that out, and I feel like this is something I do frequently, is pull it out and stare at this thing, because I can't figure out what it is.
Poppy, as you pull it out and stare at it, you notice that the sheet has changed. There is now another star next to your name.
So how many stars did that make now?
I don't remember how many I told you that there were last time. We'll call it like 5.
There's more now.
Yeah, there's one more than there was last time.
This is good, right? Kindergarten told me more stars the better.
Would you like to provide some context for Jake, who was not with us last season, on what this sheet is that you found?
What the sheet is it? It is, so when we were snooping, Mayhem, who used to be the head of the company, had a sheet full of people that he had made pacts with, because he is in fact the holder of my Warlock pact, and there was a bunch of names on it with some stars next to names. Mine had the most, and I don't know why.
It's probably good.
To be clear, Poppy went around and asked a couple of the other people whose names were on this list, and she has yet to find any correlation between the length of the pact or anything like that. She truly cannot figure out what the reasoning behind these stars is. But there's another star by your name.
I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to go, okay, I don't know if you're here. I don't know if you can hear me. I just want some answers, because it seems like this is something that you had some insight in. And I know this is kind of like an incidental thing to be getting involved in, but it feels like it's important. Why is there a new name or star next to my name? Are you going to eat me? I'm just really stressed about that. I think that's why I'm floating. I would just like some answers, please, Mr. Mayhem. If you're there.
Poppy, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh
no.
You asked for this scene.
I love this.
Oh, that's bad
Scene
for me.
in which she dies.
Oh, this is everything I wanted already.
That's a 17.
Okay. Trying to remember what I wrote into Mayhem's stat block, but I'm pretty sure that's a failure. So, Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
You feel a coldness in the back of your mind as some other intelligence reaches back out in response to your request.
Oh, don't like that feeling. No, that's not great.
And you've felt this before,
Mm-hmm.
once, when you initially made your Warlock pact. with Mr. Mayhem.
Mm.
And you hear his voice in your head say, you will receive the answers you seek when I return. It will be soon now.
No.
But am I gonna die?
Do you say that aloud?
Yeah.
You hear a very low, ominous chuckling noise in your
Oh.
head, just like and
Answer's
then
yes.
and then you hear him say, he says, Poppy, my child, why would I kill you?
I don't know how to feel about that. As long as I'm not dying, we're cool, I guess.
And you hear him say, look for me soon. And then you feel the presence kind of retract out of your head. Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. Well, that was disconcerting. I feel like I have more questions than answers now.
Then I have done my job well.
Thank you.
Girl, you in trouble.
I am.
You're in even more trouble than Red is with his thing.
Remember, be careful what you ask for or about.
All right.
You may find out.
Also, thank you, Raiders, for all of you staying with us right now. We were literally about to go on break when you showed up. So we're going to go ahead and take our break right now, but we will be back in like 10 minutes. So hang with us, because when we get back, they have concocted this crazy scheme where they're going to use a dream spell to Jacob Marley, an evil businessman, into having a conscience again. And I really highly recommend that you stay, because this can only be entertaining. So we will be back in 10 minutes, and we will see how that goes. See you then, everybody.
Bye.
Hey everybody, we are back and you cannot see me. And that is because we had a few things shift on the overlay. Not to worry, I will fix them. Players stole from me.
It's my fault. I will not do it again. And I've learned my lesson. Before we Jacob Marley this thing, I'm going to contact other plane to see how it's going to go. And this is before you guys arrive. So there will be no stopping this train.
Oh boy. Well, then, if you're going to contact other plane, you are going to have a saving throw to make.
Indeed.
I believe in you.
Ooh. Just rolled a 5.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
And my saving throw adds a 4, so 9.
Oh boy.
Oh, good.
This is going to be fun. So, I'm going to get you some consequences.
Wait, do I take damage?
I believe that is a consequence, yes.
Oh. So I have Thought Shield, and it says that's the new ability I got for this level. And it says whenever a creature deals psychic damage to you, that creature takes the same amount of damage that you do.
That will just mean that whatever entity you attempted to contact will take the same psychic damage.
Okay. But it won't take the same consequence?
No. I don't think so. Maybe. You're not really sure. I mean...
I was more asking just for fun because I like to imagine a extraplanar being getting whatever consequence this puny mortal
you're
is
about
getting.
to get, yeah. So you take 66 psychic damage for this failed contact other plane. So that's going to be 23 points of psychic damage.
Halved because I'm resistant.
There you go. And we are going to do this the fun way, which, let me see if I can remember what page this is on.
I forgot I had the lucky feat. What am I doing? I could have rolled the luck.
Would you like to retroactively roll the luck?
Kinda.
Okay.
Retroactively roll the lock.
Rolling. Oh yeah. Rolled an 18, so plus 4, 22.
All right, 22 is a success. So you can get rid of that 11 points of psychic damage
Excellent.
that you just took. Like, I would say like you can like feel the insanity starting to creep up on you, and then you're like,
Concentrate harder.
concentrate harder, and it passes, and you are able to establish the connection with whatever this entity is that has deigned to speak to you via this spell.
So last time I asked whoever I contacted how they were. I think that's just a good thing to do.
Sure.
To start with. I think it's rude. It would be rude if I didn't. So, hi, how are you?
So, for clarity for viewers, I can only respond with one-word answers. So, you say, how are you? It just says, fine.
With a question? Like a curious question?
Yeah.
Oh. So, I'm about to use this dream spell, and I wanted to know if it has two aspects to it, like a dream, like a good part where you can form it and I don't know if you're familiar with another sphere called Earth, where they have this Jacob Marley character. But anyways, we're going to Jacob Marley it in one aspect of the spell, or we can just nightmarishly do it. And I want to know if what we have planned, which is to use the Jacob Marley portion of the spell against this Corona fellow, if that's a good idea and it will succeed.
How do I respond to that in one word? Hang on.
It's like a magic 8-ball.
It just responds and says, maybe.
God damn it. Ugh. Okay. How do I not get a maybe answer? That wasn't Red. That was Jake saying that.
I was gonna say I would give you an answer to that question if you wanted.
No. Does Corona, what's his first name again? Quinn Corona have the capacity for empathy? No, maybe.
Yes.
Is showing him losing his business in this dream the potential future to lose his business and become destitute, no one talking to him, etc.? Is that the best way to go about affecting him in the way we wish to?
Possibly.
Fuck. That's my fourth one, right?
It is. You have one more.
Are there any birds that want to give me a suggestion?
What? Because she can just one word, just a single word.
One word is the response I will give back.
Or a short phrase if it's going to be like confusing or something.
Try and stick to one word as much as possible.
What would be the most effective target?
What does he respond best to?
Okay, yeah. What does Quinn Corona respond? How would he respond best to this?
Like what aspect?
What
fear or shame, like that kind of thing. Like what will he respond best to?
Yeah, fear or shame.
Shame.
Okay. I wish I had another one because I would be like, "What's your extension?" So I can just call you, directly.
You can cast the spell again. I mean, you have it as a ritual.
Don't tempt me.
Please do not.
I would just sit here all day and just contact other plane talking to entities. That would be, if I had my druthers, it would just be. Hey, Cthulhu. What you
You
doing?
should get your own
Plainer
talk show. Hey,
Yeah, plainer chat roulette.
That's exactly what it is. I was trying to think of the program, the internet program.
I think this is Waterdeep's version of the Jackass show where you do stupid things for people to watch you do stupid things.
Sure.
Plainer
But it is
chat roulette.
It is chat roulette.
I'm gonna
Like
scratch out contact other plane in my player's handbook and rename it.
plainer chat roulette. Yeah.
But I mean, in all seriousness, you do have it as a ritual. You can cast it whenever you want, and I have made it a personal goal to get you to cast it every session.
That won't be a problem because I've blocked out all my other spells and just highlighted that one
You just drew lines through them.
in the middle of a battle. Do I have time to cast Contact Other Plane? No. 11 minutes. Yeah, so I'll cast it again. Sure.
Of course you will.
He likes to live dangerously.
Here we go. 14? No, that doesn't do it. Can I use a luck point? Another one?
Is it? Yeah, you can. I think you can spend your luck points whenever to give yourself advantage. So
Keep some for the dream.
I'll have another one. I rolled an 11 the first time and a 12 the second time. Wait, yeah. No, I did the math wrong the first time. But anyways, who cares? It's a +4 to my intelligence saving throw, so 16.
So that's a pass. So you reestablish your connection with whatever this being is again. And you can almost hear the mental just...
Oh, it's the same one? It's the same one?
Yeah.
I'll ask the question I wanted to ask. What's your extension? I can go straight to you just so I don't, you can see where I'm calling from next time if I put your extension in. So do you have like an extension?
The response you get in this particular instance, I will say, is not a word, but more of a feeling of like, slimy.
Oh God.
Oozy. Coldness.
Sticky?
Yeah.
I just saw the Lighthouse movie, which is like tentacles and stuff, and this is not giving me a good feeling. So
that's the feeling you get. It is pretty distinctive.
yeah, so Red in his head is just like, draw a tentacle in ritual book? ? So second question. What specifically will shame him the most effectively to get him to do what we want?
The response you get is reputation.
Ah, very helpful. Birds? Pigeons?
Oh, public or personal reputation.
Yeah, public or personal reputation.
Public.
Of course he'd have like crazy stuff in his personal life that, yeah. But he cares more about his public persona. That was 3.
Ooh, that's good. Let's think.
How do I get my belly button to stop whistling?
no.
Oh, this is the first time you're hearing of this? Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Well, care to explain to the class while I debate the response?
Yeah, that was just like a flaw I gave Red, was that he has a whistling belly button, and it happens when he gets nervous, anxious, and he's pretty adept at mimicking, whistling without doing it through his mouth to kind of obviously deceive people that it's not coming from his belly button.
Picturing self-duets.
Indeed, but he can't whistle in real, like, with his mouth.
Well,
So
we
Mildred
should
must have been
always
able to
look on
hear
the
it
bright side
really
of life.
loudly then.
That's why I was asking how tall she was, because I was like, it's like right in at ear level.
The response is
Amazing.
dispel.
Oh, why
At
didn't I
least it
think of
wasn't die.
that? Yeah, good call. I have one left. I don't have anything frivolous to ask, unless you helpful fellow party members can't come up with anything. Then I'll come up with something frivolous to ask.
I genuinely cannot think of anything right now that wouldn't require more research on my part.
Who asked him to fake the claim, to make the false claim?
Who or what organization asked him to please tell me who asked him to fake the claim, but tell me who in that will be the most helpful. So not in like some dude. Anyways, TTYL.
And the response is Watcher.
Oh yeah, I got that last time.
Oh, that's right.
I wasted a
Sorry about
question.
You did, but
Well, it's not really a problem because I can just keep doing this.
yeah, you've got all day.
Until my brain melts. I'll say I won't do it again though, and I'll just like wait for them to pick me up.
Yes, you can wait, and I do believe Shafafana is still with you because you have not yet gone and gotten greater restoration, even though you know that will fix it. So,
Even though there's a greater restoration specialist right at the company.
There is?
There has to be.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're disasters.
Employee health, remember? We checked into that.
oh
I
yeah,
thought we didn't have that. Oh, well.
The person was on extended leave.
Or is that something else?
Oh, the therapist?
Yeah.
Right.
that's right.
Did I have an appointment?
Yeah, I think you have an appointment for next week.
Oh no. I didn't miss it, thank goodness.
All right, so we will pick up with Mildred coming to get Red to take.
Would I probably still be with you since we went to talk to the secretaries? We're probably going together.
I don't see why that seems to make perfect sense.
Yeah, you can carry the bulk of the stuff because you're large and I am not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the two.
I'll even have room to carry the tacos.
You carry the tacos and the pizzas. I'll bring the pot stickers and the cake.
I'll bring the ritual.
All the ingredients for a sleepover. Yeah, you pick up Red, and the three of you head over to Poppy's
Snacks.
house, who has graciously offered to host.
When you pick Red up, he's arguing, just going, no, I'm not better friends with that thing. I'm not. I was just talking, answering my questions. You won't answer my question, Shafavana, so I'm not. You can't be like this. It's not fair to me. And then I see you guys and keep
Knock, knock, knock. Where does he live?
In the rich part. What's the rich part where the
In North Ward?
Yeah.
Rock on.
I
I knock on
answered.
the service entrance. I knock the service entrance. That's.
He's basically waiting.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Shall we go?
Ready?
Yep. I got some good news. I can tell you on the way.
Yes. We go to Poppy's.
I tell you about contacting other plane and how well it went. And Shafafana was jealous and unfairly, in my opinion. But
Nobody could replace Shafafana. I mean, wasn't he your first otherworldly friend?
yes, but I mean, we found out a greater restoration can replace Shafafana with nothing.
But you haven't done that.
I know, because I'm waiting for my therapy appointment.
Well, also because Shafafana's cool, right? He talks to you, keeps you company.
Yeah, but he's not helpful most of the time. No, you're not helpful. You think you're being. I know you think you're being helpful. It's just not
It's the
helpful.
thought that counts, Shafafana. It's okay.
No, it's not. To an extent.
Friends don't have to be utilitarian. You can just enjoy company. Do you want to
I
hold
guess.
pizzas?
Yes.
Scandalin's holding the tacos. I'm holding the pot stickers. If he's holding the pizza, then all the rats are guarding their respective cheeses.
Is Scandalon when Red talks about Shafafana, is he just quiet?
Pretty much. I'm observing to make sure what kind of being or entity you may or may not be communicating with.
Okay. Is it like a quiet judgment or just a quiet curiosity?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a paladin. Why am I even asking? Yeah.
Very nice patron answer there, Robert. I like it.
Nice.
DM
Cool.
approved.
I'm learning.
We show up at Poppy's.
Is the tree still down and with the tree trunk still inhabiting her living room, or has that been cleaned up by now?
I feel like, and DM, chime in if you feel differently. I feel like since Mayhem has disappeared, her house has kind of gone back to normal since there isn't that immediate presence. Would you? I feel like that's like it's been ominously peaceful at her house.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, you can have had the tree cleaned up and the roof
So
repaired.
the tree has been cleaned up. The roof is in the process of being repaired. So it looks like a slightly battered but much better city hobbit hole, essentially. And so, yeah, before chaos, after he left, it's fine. So she'll answer the door, and she's already in her whatever hobbit PJs look like.
Of course, claims go through quicker when you work for the insurance company, right?
Well,
We don't have health insurance, but we can do that.
well, we can pay for it and then we become clients.
Yep.
But we don't get it complimentary, no. I'm also in pajamas. It's not like you can tell because I'm a monk and I think we pretty much always dress in pajamas anyway. But
All
like,
right, come in.
These are monk vestments with like bunnies on them.
Cute.
Owl bears and
So I've come on in, guys. I've set up the blanket fort in the family room. So it's gonna be fun.
Is there,
stickers.
And and I eat one. Oh, so all of the beer is in the kitchen, and the liquor is in the study, and the wine is in the cellar. And the malt liquor is in the bathroom. And the mixed
Gross.
drinks are in
The pantry, right?
Are in the pantry. So we're all set. Oh, and the alcoholic seltzer is in the she shed.
I know these rules, right? Because I've been here a few times.
Probably.
Is there a dream room in the pillow fort, blanket fort?
It's all a dream room.
Oh, okay.
The blanket fort. Why wouldn't it all be a dream room?
That's wonderful. So do you guys think I should drink before I do this?
Does it help you relax? Does it
Will
help
it
you
help you-
cast?
Will it help you focus?
It can help me relax, but it can also... There's a fine line between helping me relax and helping me remember things that give me anxiety. Like when I was at Waterdeep High...
I feel like halfling pipeweed would be better for this.
Pipeweed? Oh, do you want pipeweed? I have pipeweed too.
I get... What kind of pipeweed is it, though? Because I get anxious and if it's a certain kind.
It's the kind that halflings party with.
It's it's a fantasy strain of pipeweed.
Blueberry muffins.
Blueberry muffins. Oh.
It's pumpkin spice pipeweed.
Oh my God, you horrible person.
Flump Kush?
Yeah. That's what it is. It's Radagast the Dank. That's what it is.
Oh dear.
We're good. This is about a party house.
Well, I mean, you can't have a sleepover without booze and some dank weed.
Is pipeweed illegal in Waterdeep?
Not for halflings.
I was gonna say definitely not for halflings.
They get
All others only with a prescription from your cleric.
What? I don't have that.
Or as part of a halfling ceremony, which this definitely is. Have you seen the blanket fort?
That's true.
Yes.
It's not like somebody's gonna argue with you guys.
Not twice.
Everyone
With
just,
10th level, we're basically gods.
hey guys, just come in. Come on in.
Although I would like to see like Waterdeep PD bust in and then you guys convince them that this is a halfling ceremony. It's a blanket fort. Yeah.
It's a blanket fort. It's a halfling ceremony. I promise.
It's a danket fort.
You're gonna hotbox it.
I feel like we're telling the whole world our business. I also feel like we need a sleepover.
And Scandalon is wondering what has he walked into.
The poor straight-laced paladin is just like, what's going on?
The cleric just sits outside. Okay.
I feel like a paladin would just like not partake, but also not leave because realizing that they're vulnerable in this state, he would have a duty to stay by and like
he'll avoid the pipeweed and everything, but he's going to keep a careful eye on everyone.
Yeah.
He's the parent watching over the teenagers as they're partying.
He's the cool uncle. Like,
If you're gonna do this at
I
home.
would rather do it. You do it under my roof. I'd rather you do it when I'm watching you.
Yeah, I'm the one collecting the car keys from all of the guests and all that to make sure they don't drive off.
Yeah, when he's collecting fake car keys or metaphorical car keys, Red is just like, well, I got the fly spell. Flies immediately into A wall.
Oh.
I don't know if your house is gonna survive this sleepover.
TPK by sleepover.
Anyway, I bring out the necessary accoutrement.
For your
I pull out a taco and start munching on it as I watch the action take place.
Yeah, tacos and I guess
Pizza,
some
pot stickers, tacos.
Pizza. We're set, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Halfling, gnome, and human delicacies. Yes, I am blaming pizza on the humans. They're the only ones who would put candy corn on this beautiful thing.
Ew.
Ew.
I've heard of it.
Okay, so
Pretty.
dream ritual or spell rather. So you all.
So I tell them like, including Poppy, about my contact other plane and shame being the recommended and reputation, public reputation. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know.
Well,
Wearing the out of season clothes is really embarrassing to rich people. And also being seen with slightly less new fancy magical gadgets is very embarrassing and very shameful. So
his
the worst
kids might have to go to public school.
public school. Although he's not married, but he might have kids. We don't know.
He has to do his own grocery shopping.
Yes. Has to do his own grocery shopping.
He might have to sell the other carriage.
And he has to sell part of his shares of his company to his rivals.
Can you imagine? Oh,
His rivals buy him out.
Yeah, and he's talked about like in the broadsheets. That's the Waterdeep paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like gossiped about being no longer the richest, most powerful person in Waterdeep or something, and yeah, okay.
Yes. And what would be the most embarrassing, emasculating thing for someone like that?
Oh, let's see.
He's forced to marry a woman the exact same age as him instead of younger.
evil.
He thinks she's younger than him, but then it comes out that she was using some sort of hiding spell, and the gossip columnist from a broadsheet or something.
I think we've got a plan, guys.
Okay, so it takes 1 minute to cast, and then I'm going to transfer 8. I'm going to wait until... So just going to go over the plan a bunch of times until like 11 o'clock at night. So
We'll call out for more pizza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then at 11 o'clock, you go ahead and cast the spell, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to remind you all while this is going on. So Red is aware of his surroundings. So if you say something or like you put a sign in front of him or something like that, he can hear you or see it.
It's super creepy. So he's just standing there like...
So we shouldn't decorate him, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if you were to do that, he would definitely know it was going on.
Okay.
Okay,
well then that extra bag that I brought will just not see the light of day.
It just says that while in the trance, the messenger is aware of his or her surroundings, but can't take actions or move. So in that regard too, I would say.
So he can talk?
Yeah. So I would say that anything you say can be heard in the dream and in real life as well. So like,
but we can't hear. Can we hear what what
No.
Quinn will be saying.
No, you will not be able to you're only going to hear Red's side of the conversation.
But that's still helpful because if I'm answering questions that Quinn has or something, and you're hearing me respond, that kind of can give you an insight into how you might be able to help me.
Yeah. Means the three of you can monitor what's going on and potentially offer advice or suggestions over the course of the dream. Okay. So when you cast the spell initially.
Okay, let's see. I'm thinking. Now probably, is he going to need to make any saving throws during any of this?
Probably not saving throws, but he might have to make some like charisma based
Ability,
checks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so bless is not gonna do him any good then.
Unlikely, but you are physically located near him, so if that were to enter into play, he would get those bonuses.
Yeah, he'll get the saving. I'll make sure I'm within 10 feet so he can get all the saving throw bonuses.
And before he goes into
once he is
Mildred.
Before he goes into it, I would like to sing a little song for him.
Okay.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. And give him bardic inspiration.
Nice.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
And because I am right here you're within 30 feet of me, if you roll a 1, you can re-roll it. Because I have the bountiful luck feat, so you can re-roll it.
Oh, man, something's going on with halflings in the world. They get crazy good stuff.
Agreed. Your bardic inspiration is a D6.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay. So they give you assorted preparations, and at around 11 o'clock, you go ahead and cast the spell. And initially, you realize that Quinn is not asleep yet.
So I just wait.
So yeah, you just hold concentration on it,
and I can talk to them while. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk to them while this is going on. So, you can let them know he's not asleep yet, but you have to keep, hanging on to the spell. About an hour or so goes by while you're holding on to the spell. It seems like he keeps pretty late nights. And then you feel the spell trigger as he falls asleep. Now, you have complete control of his dream. So I'm going to let you describe everything that happens and how you want to, what you want things to look like. I'm basically going to hand the DM keys to you for this dream. And I'm just going to play the part of Quinn.
Ooh.
Okay, but yeah, okay. So
I mean, I'll call for saving throws or for checks or anything like that if necessary, but descriptive-wise, it's all yours.
So it's all going to be like a reminiscent of a montage in a TV show or movie with speeding up throughout the day that, like we talked about, in between scenes. So, like, after we flash to the scene of us visiting the estate, it will fast forward to another scene and then it will stop. So we'll start with him coming out to greet us. Mm-hmm. And that conversation is very truncated just because it happened recently. And so this is going to be this path is going to be the one in which the bad things happen.
Okay.
So the one where he doesn't go to the watch, and so yeah, it's just going to be his business failing, embarrassing.
Are you appearing to him at all? Like, are you
No.
Jacob Marleying, or are you just?
Well, it'll be the version of him, but like he'll. Because you said I could be him, right?
Yeah, I said you could create yourself basically as an illusory version of him.
I'll do that with like a kind of have his facial expressions ever changing in a blurred way, kind of.
Okay.
Like you can tell it's, in a dream you're seeing something weird, but you know it's that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like resembles the person you know, but maybe their hair is huge. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and then he finds like a broadsheet article about people in his business funneling money away from his business, illegally doing that. And then it will cut to a really bad earnings review of a quarterly report or something, whatever the version of that is in Waterdeep.
Quarterly
and
earnings
then
call. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it will cut to his wedding day with, I'm not gonna, because I don't know what his preference is in any way, that will be kind of blurry and hard to make out, but it'll be clear to him that it's like he's getting married, and then that he finds out that person through a broadsheet lied about their age, and they're really old, and they came from a low class family, and like maybe there's, I don't know. Yeah. And then he'll lose his hair. He had hair, right?
He did have hair. Yes.
Okay. He'll lose his hair and then go to get it fixed magically or not magically, and that will cause something worse to happen, like his scalp to leak pustules of green smelly goo, and then the next, so like he'll just be, people will laugh at him, it'll be like, yeah, and then just more terrible business news, and eventually his business rivals pressure him to sell his company to them, and they keep getting a better and better position to argue for that, and eventually he has to see that through and actually do it. And they are super condescending to him and rub it in his face constantly, and yeah. So basically what we talked about. And then the second part is going to be start with us visiting. That's truncated, and it cuts to like another scene of him wondering when he's going to hear about whether he's anxious to find out about the insurance claim because he needs to know if he needs to pay for it himself, or if he's going to use the money. He doesn't want to jump the gun and whatever. And then he comes to his senses and realizes that they could possibly continue to extort him regardless of how this goes. And it could be a never-ending cycle. And, oh, yeah. So that would have happened in the previous one, too, like the never-ending cycle of extortion. So in the second one, he realizes that same thing that could be happening and just says, no, screw it. I'm just going to go to the watch because this is ridiculous. And his business succeeds. All the his hair doesn't fall out. He expands. He knocks down a bunch of houses around him and expands his estate. And at the end of it, someone approaches him. I'm trying to remember how the masked lords of Waterdeep are chosen.
It's all very hush hush.
But so like whatever he knows about that, it'll be like he'll be approached to just be like someone will approach him and say, you're being considered to be a masked lord of Waterdeep. And yeah.
Okay. Do you interact with him directly at all throughout the course of this?
I'm just next to him as I described, but I'm not like talking. I'm just kind of, if I recall correctly, yeah, kind of. But in one of the Scrooge visitations, it's like death, right? And death.
Yeah.
Which is the one of them doesn't talk, I think.
I believe that's the ghost of Christmas Future that doesn't talk.
Okay, so it's going to be like that.
Yeah, that just like points basically ominously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can Ghost of Christmas Future this.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to have you...
just hang on. I just...
Yes, very good. It was a very good description and very well put together. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you roll an intimidation check. I will give you advantage because you are in the dream and able to show him all of this. And this is not something he's going to be able to forget when he wakes up.
So if I use a luck point on this roll, do I re-roll just one or two?
Advantages, generally speaking, don't stack, so you would not get to roll again.
So I couldn't use a luck point?
No, I don't think so. I'd have to go review how luck works, but
okay.
My gut is
That's fine.
Add your inspiration.
But yeah, you do have inspiration.
Good call. Good call.
Yes.
A 4 and a 20.
Man, I tell you what, you all get 20s when it counts.
You have been Scrooged.
Yeah. That wouldn't have been good if I didn't have advantage, so that's a 25 total.
Nice. You can see in Quinn's face that this whole thing is, especially this whole first story you tell of his fall from grace, essentially, is absolutely horrifying to him. Like you just watch his face fall and get progressively more and more worried. And by the time you reach the end, this guy he's got like tears in his eyes and you've just broken him down. And then you sort of, you give him the ray of hope, right? You show him that there's a way out, and that is by making a different decision, and specifically the decision to go to the police, to go to the watch and tell them that he was being extorted.
Yeah, and specifically appealing to like his rational side with the continuous extortion would hopefully help.
Yeah, and he watches this this whole other chain of events play out, and he's still crying by the end of it, but he seems to have finally realize that there is, this ray of hope, this other avenue for him. And do you leave the dream at that point, or do you say anything?
No. It will like end with it will fade out to him staring, like I'll fade away and he'll be staring down two kind of separate paths that continue on infinitely.
Mm-hmm.
And just signifying that he has a choice to make. There's two paths here, and I showed you two paths, and the dream will end with just him looking down at these infinite paths with the light at the end, and there's it turns into like a Barovian nightmare, one of the paths towards the end, in terms of like the scenery. So like the trees are all
dead,
gnarled and dead, and then the other one is just like money trees. and yeah, just money trees.
Okay. So you give him that final image, and then you end the spell and the dream. And the rest of you, so he didn't really say anything for the most part throughout this process. So the only real indication you had was maybe a little bit of a catch in Red's breathing when the dream began, right? Some indication of a difference, but that's really about it. And then after probably takes you a good hour or two to go through all of these scenarios, even in brief, like, you've got to devote a few minutes to each one. You see Red open his eyes.
That went good, I think.
I would like to say, for the record, I fully passed out.
Poppy's just asleep.
Poppy is fully face down in a pile of pillows.
One black claw too many, right?
Yes.
Black claw.
Mildred's just been sitting there, probably having ordered more pot stickers delivered, and just fascinated the whole time. This might be the fascinating storytelling. It might be the pipe weed, but she's involved. She's in there.
Yeah. So Red just recounts what he did and what the dream looked like, and how I was half expecting him to ask me questions, but at the last moment I thought, you know what, I'm not going to talk to him until he talks to me, and maybe even not then, because I'm just going to make it abundantly clear about these two different paths. I think it went really well because he was tearing up and devastated. And then once I showed him the path that where he talks to the watch, I could see his face gain some color, and he was hopeful. So I think we really got it.
Excellent.
Great. I'm so proud of you.
We'll have to keep an ear out to see if we hear anything tomorrow.
We have
Besides that.
Do we have contacts in the watch?
Do we, in fact? Nudge Poppy.
I'm sure probably Scandalon does through the temple.
Scandalon, you probably would know a few people through the watch, just because, Paladin's watch, you sort of get along, same alignment, basically. Mm-hmm. Also, if you all recall, Mork used to serve on the City Watch.
Ooh, and that's right.
Before he joined Waterdavian Farm, and before he became, I'm dropping dice everywhere. Before he became the CEO, and so you met last season, his former boss once or twice, and I believe we had an entire episode that was set in the City Watch headquarters. because I distinctly remember Poppy breaking into the evidence locker. And
Oh, I did do that. Oh,
yes,
wow.
you did. So
Good times.
you've
That must have
definitely
been before
met
I
some
was
police
assigned
officers.
to the corporation. I would have remembered that.
Yes, so you've definitely met some police officers. Scandalon will know a few. Mork would know some as well, enough to get you in the door if you needed to.
It's probably pretty or relatively common that an insurance company would check to see
Police records, blotters.
if there was any reports of. I don't even know if that's public record, but yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, you do. It is fairly common in this line of work to have to go get a police report for various things. So I know the reason why last season that you all went there was during the case with the dragon that had collided with the airship.
Yeah.
And you went to look for a police report about the collision and see if you could get any information from the officers who were first on the scene. So it is not uncommon. There are plenty of people who have contacts who can help you talk to the watch. And they would be respectful of your job as well because they work with you fairly frequently.
Excellent. I am going to
So, how are you doing, Red? How are you feeling?
feel pretty good about it. I'm a lot less nervous now that it's over. And I think talking to whoever that was on the other plane really helped. Really focusing on the shame was something I don't think I would have focused on so much. And I really think asking other planar entities questions is a really great thing. It can be an asset.
Poppy, all the liquor's gone.
What? What?
Successful.
What? What's it? What happened? Oh God, there's a time for work. Oh no, I need to get in the shower.
We checked the cellar, we checked the bathroom, we checked the kitchen, I just go through every little place that you mentioned where different alcohol was and say it's all gone.
Actually gone.
I am like stumbling through the house. It's like when you're
actually
asleep and you don't
gone.
know what's going
The
on.
the only thing left is half a hog's head of Black Claw.
That's all you need.
I love it. I love it. I just love it how it tastes like orange with a low battery. It's great. It's like holistic fruit.
Okay. So it's pretty late at this point. It's something like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that you are all going to go to sleep here for the night, right?
Yes, in the big old blanket fort.
Okay. So you can all get your long rest for the night.
Yay.
Restore any hit points, spell slots, anything of that nature that you would like to handle. We're almost done with our session, so I don't want to get too deep into what happens the next day. But what I will say is, and we'll roleplay this a little bit more fully next week, but when you go into work the next day and you sit down for your daily meeting with Karen, right? She's usually got a new case to assign to you. The very first thing that Karen says is she says, I'm afraid I'm going to have to withdraw that case that I gave you yesterday. Some new information has come to light, and Mr. Corona has withdrawn his claim.
Looks smug.
Oh, well, that's just insane.
How unfortunate. But I guess
for him.
that happens in this business, does it not?
And it's not really unfortunate for us. I mean, that means we don't have to pay out. So,
We weren't going to pay out anyway. It was a fraudulent claim. I'll put a note in his file.
Yes, that is the information that came to light very early this morning.
Well, couldn't have dreamed it could have gone any better.
You know, it is a really, really nice outcome, isn't it? A little bit surprising.
Totally.
We've not really had much fraud here, not since I can remember. But
actually, I had done some research on our cases before, right? And we found some
frauds. Well, not in the last couple of years, surely.
That's it. Wasn't it before Mayhem?
It was 10 years ago.
It was before Mayhem became the CEO. That is correct.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was the CEO, but it only lasted for a brief period of like 3 years, and then it stopped.
It was like in the first 3 to 7, I believe, years of the company, so decades ago.
Yes, the company is like 40, 50 years old, so it was a long time ago. She says, well, so with Mr. Corona withdrawing his claim, he went and taught a chat with the City Watch this morning, and he mentioned that he had been extorted into making the claim, and he had done it against his will. And so we don't have to worry about that anymore. And I can reassign you all to a new case. And
excellent.
Give me a look.
Oh, Jake's thinking Red's not, but Jake is like, did I kind of extort him in a dream way? His emotions?
No.
His emotion.
I mean, you definitely played with his emotions.
Yeah.
You showed him 2 completely viable options.
You brought him to a...
Sing in an elaborate manner.
As Scandalon would say, you brought him to a moral reckoning.
It's true. So we're going to end there for today. One thing I do want to remind you all of is I believe, Scandalon, I believe you took the piece of the carriage that has the symbol on it.
Yes.
So just don't forget that you have that.
Because we wrapped it and then we put it in the bag of holding.
Correct. So you all still have one of these nasty necromantic symbols that is active in your bag of holding right now.
Yeah.
Oh, crud.
So yeah, you might want to deal with it next time.
I want to take it to the temple.
I figure you probably did. So we'll handle that next time, as well as your new case. But we're going to go ahead and call it quits here and give everybody a little bit of time to do their outro. And I want to just say thank you to everyone. I think a lot of the raiders from Scraticus hung around, so thank you all for being such lovely people and hanging with us this evening. We hope you'll come back next week. And we will go back around, everyone, who you are, where we can find you, anything important. Cynthia, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Cynthia, and I was playing Mildred Crabtree, a gnome monk of the Drunken Master Path. She's blue. That didn't actually come up this episode, but she's blue. And normally you can find me here on Wednesdays, and on Mondays I am on the Fox and Penguin Show on Twitch. We're going through the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and we've just finished the first level under mountain and headed into the second floor down.
Very nice. I'm also running a Mad Mage game, and it is going quite well. Jake.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jake Friday. You can find me on Twitter at Jake Friday, on Instagram at Jake of the Friday. You can also find me on Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific running a Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus game on twitch.tv/Venture Ventures. And yeah, we're still in Baldur's Gate, and I'm finding that all the encounters there are insanely scaled. It's absurd. But yeah, they just collapsed part of the Dungeon of the Dead 3. So they fully knew about flammable gas and decided to throw some fire. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Nice. Robert.
All right, I am KY Hawkeye, Kentucky Hawkeye. You can find me on my Twitch channel tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, as I continue my Skyrim serial, currently doing the Dark Thalmor, a Thalmor agent who is in search for any Daedric artifact he can get a hold of and might end up having some dealings with the Dark Brotherhood. On Tuesday nights at 6 p.m., same channel, I have we will finally be wrapping up the Lego DC Supervillains and be starting a new game the following week. And then Saturday night, 7 p.m. is Saving Throw Wrestling, where a number of GMs, DMs, and RPG players from across the Twitch universe participate in their own WWE 2K19 universe at a arena we affectionately call the Dice Tray. And we will be having a pay-per-view probably coming up in the next 1 to 2 weeks.
That's awesome. That sounds like so much fun.
In coordination with PAX Australia.
That's wonderful.
With PAX Australia.
Hannah.
Hi, my name is Hannah. Asbestos Tito's on Twitter and Miss Murphy on Instagram. I don't have any other supplemental stuff, unfortunately. My professional life kind of gets in the way of that. However, I am going to be at the Night in Question LARP in Austin, Texas in 3 weeks. So if anyone is there, let me know. Fun ideas. It's going to be great. And you stay classy, San Diego.
And hello, everyone. I'm Danielle, your DM this evening. I'm Racontor on Twitter, on Twitch, and I'm Faliolata on Instagram. You can follow me for all kinds of nerdy content, ranging from books to TV to movies to TTRPGs and everything in between. As far as other streaming things go, you can catch me on Friday nights, also here on Variant Roles, where I play Harmony Ward, Wizard Disaster, who is trying to stop a war of the Fae on our Dresden Files game set in Portland. And then on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, you can catch me on at Other Doc's channel, where I am playing in a wonderful Invisible Sun game as Vormera Vanas, a Veasley Weaver. And if you've not seen Invisible Sun, you should definitely come by and check it out. It is it's a game full of character and quirks and just wonderful strangeness. Also, quick plug, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, highly recommend subscribing to Variant Roles. There's some wonderful people and some wonderful shows. We've got programming every night of the week, everything, all different systems. I know they're running a Halloween one-shot here, I think, tomorrow night. It's Invisible Sun, so you should definitely subscribe. Great people, great shows, everything you could possibly want in a TTRPG channel. We also have a Patreon, link is down below, and you can sign up for that as well if you'd like to just support us, make sure we have things like our Zoom subscriptions and things like that. So that's it. That's my shtick, and we will see you next week, same time, same bat channel, to hear more about what the next case they're going to be working on is, and also what they're going to do with this symbol that they have right now, and how this whole fraud thing is going to shake out. So who knows? But we'll learn a little bit more next week, as always. And last and not least, have a happy Halloween tomorrow. It's the best holiday of the year.
Agreed.
And we'll see you then next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.